All right. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ruling Modus,
present
Page,
here.
Valley,
Here.
Painter,
Here.
Wolfersberger,
Here.
Cummings,
Here.
Brown.
Yes.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Is there any public comment? See none. We will head on down to our consent agenda. We have a regular village board meeting for February the 25th, executive session meetings for the 25th of February, treasurer's report, investment recommendation, and approval of bills. If there's Debbie's here, if you have any questions on the treasurer's report, if there's no discussion or questions, is there a motion?
If nobody has any questions, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Page,
Yes.
Valley,
Yes.
Painter,
Yes.
Wolfersberger,
Yes.
Cummings,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
On to new business. Our first item on our new business is in your package. You have, we have a consideration of an honorary street sign designation for Trooper Corey Thompson. And I have a couple of, thank you, Debbie, teachers here in the audience, one of which is my niece. So, anyway, thank you for both being here. Anyway, they're here to answer any questions. If you have any questions on what they put in the package on what street and everything, so anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I think it's great. I'm glad that you guys, or whoever prompted this, I think it's a great idea.
I'm in favor. We're at on Peters, you got, but do you want it?
It doesn't matter to us. I spoke with Susan Thompson and she spoke with the family and I told her a couple different options that Tammy had proposed, I had proposed, and they went out together as a family one night and thought it would be nice on Peters Drive. So to me, I really do think it depends on what they would prefer as the family, and that street is already honored to the family itself. I don't know if it can go to Harlan Weiss or if it can go all the way to Wiltshire. That would be totally up to you guys, and I think the family's consideration.
I guess one thing is, when you put one or two signs, like a BJ, we put two or one out here.
It seems like we put one like at the beginning where it starts and then one at the end. So we like two signs throughout there, so. But
And like
do you
Aaron,
recall, Joe, was that kind of?
BJ, I thought was the intersection.
it's just right over there on that corner, but I didn't remember if we put a catty corner here, if there's one here. And then for Aaron, there's only one on the cul-de-sac,
Right,
so I didn't know if it's.
If you want to do Peters Drive, we could do one all the way down to that street sign at Park One, all the way down. Isn't there a sign where the curb is from the Peters? Yes, we can put one on both those if you want. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great designation just in front of the school, just always for future generations to recognize.
yeah, and I hadn't given it, but thought, but when I read your stuff, I thought, yeah, that's appropriate since it's already Peters Drive and that's. I'm not sure if that's why I was saying Peters Drive, probably could have been because the Peters is his dad was, or her dad was a representative or senator.
US Senator, or
Senator.
Illinois Senator.
Yeah, Illinois Senator. So I think that's why Peters Drive became Peters Drive anyway. So I'm like, well, that would be appropriate too. So, so I was good with either one. So it was a nice that you talked with him.
Yes, I wanted to get their opinion. I didn't want to just specify, this is where we think it should be, and she got back and said, yes, that would be much appreciated.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for putting it all together. So is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve wherever they want to put it.
Actually, we'll do this actually as a resolution at the next meeting.
Okay.
We'll have it approved.
Okay, so we'll do that and then we'll get all the information together and then, once we get the signs and everything, we'll set up a day, to go out and we'll do a little special designation ceremony with that, so, work through Timber, because that's
Yeah,
the easiest way to get the information, so we'll hopefully get the teachers and stuff out there too, so. Anyway, very good, so yeah, we'll do the resolution on our next, work meeting, we'll get that taken care of it, so. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, and I said you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you just have absolutely nothing better to do tonight.
I got to bring it away from.
Okay,
Timra, is that your water cup on the floor?
Yeah. I mean, Timber, if you wanna like, say, yeah, my aunt's really cool, great, I mean, that would be.
So focus.
All right.
Not anymore.
All right, so I'm David, you. All right, second item on our agenda, business is the appraisal review and discussion. It's exhibit number 7. I'll let Joe kind of go over that.
Don't expect you to do anything with this other than just you asked for a couple meetings ago. I just wanted to show you this, it's done and it's produced, so. It was the opinion of the market value is $140,000. This is the net result, so. If you have any questions or you want more information on the lot, please let me know, but yeah, I don't need anything else tonight unless you want to do something.
Thank you for getting that.
Yeah, and just everybody kind of put on your caps as far as. Eventually that decision is gonna be talked about, probably go into the next administration, as far as what they'll look at all the different options. So, but anyway, if you have any ideas or suggestions and you're not gonna be interested, then you can share that with those that will be sitting here, later. So the third item we have is discussion of minor, construction operations. So, and that information was in your packet, but I will let Joe kind of give you a little more of the information on why this was put in your packet.
So we have for a while talked about the public works department eventually locating out of the sewer plant. We have a shed that is currently just what you would consider cold storage, unfinished. It does have a break room as well as a lab that will be a part of the new sewer plant whenever it's completed in the winter. Basically, we have a very conservative, by conservative, I mean high quote here. We can probably strip this down a little bit and make it cheaper, and then hopefully whenever the actual good result will come in, it'll be lower. But if he did this, it would give us 6,000 square feet, an additional 6,000 square feet, so it would be a substantial, increase in space. It would be heated, we could store anything out there, basically. I don't have the exact figures on the square footage for both of our current sheds combined. I do know that the smaller of the two sheds, the one that's immediately behind the annex building, is 1,404 square feet of storage, and I can get the information on what the square footage is for the other lot. But however, if we did this is probably I would say the cheapest time to do it. If we decided to do it later and do it all at once, we have to come up with that, or we can amortize this into the existing wastewater treatment plant loan over 20 years to be 1.2% interest. So basically, just seeking direction on if you all want to do this while we're doing it, while we're doing the work.
What do you need from a motion to do it, or you want?
So basically, we'll have some sort of loan amendment or a budget amendment that we'll present at a later time. This is just more for direction if I should continue to go down this path or not. I'm for it.
Can I ask you a couple questions from understanding? So I understand public works, but can you just tell me a little bit more about the, are they gonna have offices in there? Are they just gonna have shop in there? I mean, I just wanna get my brain around.
We'll currently have a break room and a lab and sewer plant. We could very easily build, I mean, I've always just called it a warm room, but we could build some sort of offices off of that space if we needed to. That's not included in here.
Okay.
But then it'll be a lot of, if you did this, heated storage. So you can store anything in there. Some of our equipment you can't store in cold weather, it would hurt it basically, but yeah, basically, if we wanted to transition from where we are currently in the middle of the downtown, we need to start accumulating square footage where we can move our stuff.
So like in this environment, like the blueprints and things that could be in there and they would still be okay.
Yeah, it won't change. This is basically what it is currently is just a big open cold storage area where we can store a good amount of stuff, but not
Right.
everything needs to be in a warmer environment.
Thanks.
I know when Joe and I had previously talked about it, I know with the annex building and to me, it's just kind of wasted real estate that we have over there. And it, my thinking was always that eventually we would have all public works moved out to the sewer plant, and we have the extra ground there. That when we took the tour of the new building out there, it seemed to be there was plenty of space that to me, it makes sense to utilize all of it in one place. To have all of it and then, open up the downtown area for potential other commercial use or, it's just, to me, hanging on to all that extra property doesn't make any sense to me. Makes sense to make better use of it and put all of our, stuff for public works in one location.
To be clear, I will say that the public works director doesn't think that that's big enough. That won't shed. We haven't tried to fit everything in there yet. We'll have more conversations if you all want to do this, but.
Was one of the things on your to-do list with him was that to do some sort of inventory of equipment and things at some point?
Yeah, this would be a good time to do it if we're talking about moving, or if we find out that, yeah, we still are short, how much is that? A number, because we can have to put a number to it, square footage wise, what you want to do with the space that's needed. So if you all want to do this, we'll dig into it more and we'll know exactly where we're at with it.
Would this be classified as, we're looking at this now primarily because it is a cost savings now versus later, but if all things were equal, it's a want, not a need currently?
Well, I think
Or-
that theoretically you could pay for these improvements with the sale of those buildings potentially, and or subsidize it substantially if we did it, so it would be lower. And then two, it is sort of it would be nice for public works to have all their stuff all in one location as well. They're kind of scattered throughout. And then we are right in the middle of a residential area, so whenever they come into town and they're getting ready to do snow removal and things like that, the people live right across the road and they're at 4 a.m. loading and clanging and banging and doing all that kind of stuff. It also is kind of desirable commercial property. I've had numerous people reach out about the location, about the property, so I think that we would have I think we could find a buyer pretty easily. And we haven't even announced that we're like even thinking about selling it. It's just word of mouth type of thing. It's just long-term facility planning, basically.
And as far as like there's still stuff in the annex building too, right? So would we be able to clear that out as well?
Really, the only thing that of use that's in the annex building, because my understanding, if our new mayor, he's talking about the new mayor, since no one's running against him, he's probably gonna be the new mayor. Doesn't want his office in the annex building. I personally don't, I mean, it's a nice office that I have over there and I use it when I meet, but it's to me, not a wonderful space. I sometimes somewhat embarrassed bringing people in there to me. My office is great, but the rest of it's just not unused. It's an old building that
And it's not really the only thing over there.
Mike's office is in there, so
But that would go,
yes, that would be the, yeah, so.
so there wouldn't be anything holding up getting.
Yeah, the only thing that they would say they would need is the shed that's behind the annex building, which would be all part of that property. Is I think where they said they have stuff stored in that shed.
We just have to evaluate, like, okay, we have this much stuff, how much square footage exactly do we need to store everything that we have? And, we might just actually have to do the exercise of driving everything out there. Fit it in that shed and seeing,
Yeah, I would wanna know for positive that there would be no, like, if this went up, that could for sure be sold. But I wouldn't wanna get into a situation of it's agreeing to put this up, and then we need to keep this now, and.
And I agree with that entirely. I would not want to be in the position, it's like, oh, we spend the money out there, and then next thing you know, oh, but we need all of it still,
Right.
because we have all this, it's like, no. I want it all in one location, because that's the purpose of doing this, and ultimately, I know we've talked for years about the public works needing a new facility, and you know, it seems to me like there's an awful lot of space there, to make good use of. So instead of adding another building, I want this to be the building, so, but.
A couple things to be in favor of that. That I think it would be good to have it out there at different times when I talk to them about some of the things they have stored indoors. Like a snowplow for a truck. And they were concerned about vandalism. Now, I don't really see how anybody's gonna vandalize a snowplow, but nonetheless, if you got it all out the sewer plant in a fenced in area, it would be secure. So there's some things that maybe are stored inside, wouldn't necessarily have to be stored inside. You go ahead and clear out an area, put down some rock, a little drainage, and you leave some of those out. Also, I mean, it seemed like a lot of money to spend, and one thing I mentioned to Joe was about, at this time, if you're building it, look about putting a pit in there. Reason being with a pit, if you took, different than having a lift, you don't have to worry about the weight so much, that you can drive a truck or anything, where you can do any underneath maintenance by virtue of a pit, or if you had to mow or anything like that, but approximately 3 foot and straddle it. I think it's something to consider, doesn't have to be, but it saves them jack a lot of things up, put them on jacks, because if they're on the pit, it's not gonna fall off the jack. So I think there's some things that should be
I feel like
considered.
they could drive into.
No comment.
Don't underestimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway,
Our comp will go up because of the potential risk.
well, there again, it's, you wouldn't have a pit that's open continually.
Right.
Most of them you'll have like either two by 12s, or even you can get a 3 or heavy one that would stand the weight of any truck or anything like that, you know, the lid for them. And the theory is, when you go ahead and you go in the pit, that's when you uncover it. You don't uncover it before, but there is a remote possibility that we try. But I think it would be good to locate everything out there. The only concern I had, and at one time we had the road washed out. But now that they're building that subdivision, and there'd be an access you could come across on the north side. But that road where the culvert is, it all got flooded and washed out several years ago, and they couldn't get back there. So that's something to consider, but I don't think it's, I think it's a good idea. You know, I think you could go ahead and really they should be able to put all their stuff there in a shop for that matter. So
that land out there is always going to be tax rolls in particular, right? And that land there has potential to be a valuable piece of commercial property. So the land out there will never be anything other than.
but you would need to build this, like I said, additional access for the side just in case.
But yeah, we would have some sort of, we'll look at that more.
I mean, that really wouldn't be real difficult, but I just like to point that out, but I think you study it out, see what kind of lighting, other things like that. Maybe even get Max's opinion on what kind of lights to put in there.
I don't think I'll be around when that goes.
It wouldn't be a conflict of interest at that.
Right.
put it down. But no, I think it'd be worthwhile exploring.
We'll look into more of the exact number or exact amount of square footage we need and then I'll bring it back.
Okay.
So we have still have some time.
Thank you.
Steve, I see no old business, so Joe, updates.
Meeting of the joint review board for the TIF discussion will be March 20th at 11 a.m. here at the municipal building. And that is it.
Okay. Mark,
Don't have anything to report?
Mike?
No.
Nothing for that. Mayor updates. I have one little update I was gonna give you. I've been working with, two, actually three ladies. We met last week, since the village gardeners are, no longer, a group. I've been working with, the SGO FFA and also, the Seed Plant Ag Sciences, Corteva Agra Science is their official name out there. Anyway, it would be the St. Joseph production plant, but anyway, I met with Carrie, Abby and Kara from there that Kara had approached me a while back, Kara Mills, about, apparently their plant used to do a lot of community type things, in the communities they're at. So anyway, they wanted to get back into doing that more. So anyway, she thought she saw when the village gardeners were disbanding that apparently they, I think, kind of did that years ago at some point. So anyway, she approached me, and so anyway, we met last week, and we're starting to put together a plan for them and the kids at the school with the FFA, which I think will be a great group community thing to be working with local business and with the high school FFA group to do our planters downtown. They're not only looking at doing the concrete planters, but the baskets also. So in the process of coordinating that, I'll be talking with Mike Peters and coordinating, putting that all together. But I'm excited to be working with them. They seem really excited about doing all of it. And it was a great meeting that I had with them last week, and a lot of great ideas. And so anyway, we're in the process of getting that all put together. And so that we'll continue to have a beautiful downtown. So even though our village gardeners have, retired from that, we'll still be able to do that. So, and I said, it'll be a great community effort that I think we'll be proud of too. So, but anyway, that's really all I have, was just that I've been working on that. Seemed like there was something else I was working on, but that's not a big super important because I can't think of what it was off the top of my mind. If I think of it, I'll tell you. But anyway, Board of Trustees, do you have anything?
I do. I spoke with someone today who is on the committee for the rail trail. And I know I'm so excited when I go to work, I see the clearing of all of that. And I asked the question, are we gonna get to go across the railroad? And they said that yes, that was in the works. So I think that it's supposed to be done to all, so from Urbana all the way to the fairgrounds, which Oakwood is to the fairgrounds, by at the end of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a big grant, and they've done a lot of work, this committee has, so it's kind of exciting. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I know the last I heard, I know it was sounding like within the next couple of years, but that's even better news. So that'll be good. So very good. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, sure.
So, all right, if there's, oh, yes.
Joe, when we were talking earlier on that, for the resurfacing, and you were talking about they were gonna paint the fence, are you gonna need to take down any of the fence so they can get equipment in there?
I don't know that. The way Mike's gonna have them roll it, they're gonna roll the fence. And I And I am not positive, I can ask him that though.
Okay, because if they need to take down any of the fence for them, it would be, we were wondering if we could get another gate on the south end, maybe.
Okay.
That's a possibility. And then where the one section is up there near the front. I mean, you guys don't, I think we were talking about maybe making that a lot better so we could put information on the backside. And they could also have like a line across there where you could hit, like the tennis players could hit. Like it would show like a net line or something, so they could hit up against that, and then pickleball players could hit up against it as well. For if you were there by yourself, you could just play up against that thing, make it a little bit nicer
Okay.
where that's at.
Could you say again what side you wanted the other?
So it'd be nice, you have a gate on the north side, if we could have one on the south side, so then you're not crossing. When you go, like if somebody's playing on that court, you don't have to
I see
go,
what
you
mean.
could go in on either gate if that would be a possibility.
Okay, I'll ask about that.
All right, anything else?
I have a quick question, which I just thought about, is are there plans to fill the potholes along this here and then the alleyway? So when you back out, you go through the alleyway? Is there any plan to?
We've talked about overlaying that and it was not included last year, but they're going out probably right now and looking at the roads because hopefully the weather's broke where they can see after the winter, see what the conditions are. So that has been talked about redoing this section right here, but we kind of held off.
But also the alley, when you back out,
We didn't talk about the alley, but we
you turn
can,
left on the alley there, it's terrible.
it is terrible. Yeah, I drive basically a
Right.
go-kart, so I feel every bit of it, yeah. No, we've talked about it, but we held off last year because we didn't know the status of what we were going to do with the buildings. So we'll consider that again.
Just some good gravel in the holes would help.
I mean, right, I mean, even if they just
That's
throw
what
something
they
in
did
it for
on
now.
Evergreen, is that the fix for Evergreen, or will that road get fixed
It'll get-
once they get?
It'll get fixed once,
Okay.
yeah, that's temporary.
I took my truck to the car wash and then got to go right through the grass. Pretty nice.
Good timing, right? Right, if there isn't anything else, we do have a quick thing to go into closed session. And then we're not meeting on, we're not voting on anything out of closed session, so I will just close.
I should have said something during public comment, as we're getting into the nicer weather. We talked about the golf carts last year and the 11 and 12-year-old kids running around on Sunday afternoon. I'm out in the yard. 3 or 4 12-year-old girls just laughing and having a good old time, cruising down Park, got to Linden, right through the stop sign, right on down the road. So I don't know if we remind the sheriff's department or whoever, but
I don't think they do anything, do they?
Yeah, we can remind them because they are underage and they're supposed to, legally, that's a state statute type thing, so they should be able to.
And more last year or 2 years ago or whatever it was, the girl fell off and was really injured.
Yeah.
so.
So,
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session for the limited purpose of discussing the employment performance and compensation of one or more specific village employees. Executive to,
I'm sorry.
you
Is
wanted
that,
to say public?
no, is that for the village,
Legally,
is that for the village's window then?
very.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I was really
Maybe,
like,
but-
I'm just gonna, let's go where I left off. Pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 parentheses.
Second.
Second.
Travel,
Yes.
Peter. Yeah. Wolfensberger.
Yes.
Cummings.
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Page.
Yes.